Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before you skip past that little nickel sitting in your pocket or change jar, you might want to take a closer look because that simple 5-cent coin could be worth thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Some 1964 Jefferson nickels, especially the ones with the Denver D mint mark, have sold for over $10,000, and one special type even went for more than $30,000. In this video, I'll tell you the full story of the 1964 D Jefferson nickel, how it came to be, what makes some of them extremely rare, what kinds of errors to look for, and how to tell if yours might be one of those valuable ones. So don't go anywhere. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why a small, ordinary-looking coin could hide a small fortune. Now, let's start with a little history. The Jefferson nickel design began in 1938, replacing the old Buffalo nickel. The U.S. Mint held a design contest to create a new 5-cent piece that would feature Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The winning design was made by an artist named Felix Schlag. On the front of the coin, or what collectors call the obverse, there's a left-facing portrait of Jefferson with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date next to his face. On the back, known as the reverse, there's an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, in Virginia. Beneath it are the words, "Monticello, 5 cents," and "United States of America." It's a simple, classic design that's been part of American pocket change for over 80 years. Fast forward to 1964. The United States was dealing with a nationwide coin shortage. People were saving coins, collecting them, or simply not spending their loose change. Because of this, the U.S. Mint had to produce a massive number of coins that year to meet demand. The Denver Mint, which uses the D mint mark, struck about 1.79 billion nickels in 1964 alone. That's an enormous number, making it one of the highest mintages in U.S. coin history. With so many made, you'd think they'd all be worthless today, but that's not the case. A small number of these coins have special qualities or minting errors that make them incredibly rare and valuable to collectors. The regular 1964 D Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs about 5 grams and measures 21 millimeters across. Most of the ones you'll find in circulation are worn down, dull, and show a lot of scratches and marks from years of use. In that condition, they're worth only 5 cents. Even an uncirculated one that's never been used might be worth only a few dollars. But certain small details can make all the difference between an ordinary nickel and a collectible worth thousands. One of those details is called full steps. If you flip the coin over and look at Monticello on the back, you'll see a staircase leading up to the building. When a coin is struck perfectly, you can see all the steps clearly separated by clean, sharp lines. However, because the mint was rushing production in 1964, most coins came out with weak strikes, so the steps look blurry or melted together. A coin with complete, full steps is extremely rare. Collectors pay top dollar for those because it shows a perfect strike and careful preservation. For example, one 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark but with full steps and a high grade sold for over $14,000. The same principle applies to the 1964 D nickel. If it's in high grade and shows full steps, it can easily be worth several $1,000s. But that's not the only way a 1964 D nickel can be valuable. Some coins were struck with mistakes at the mint, and those mistakes make them even more interesting to collectors. One of the most famous errors for this coin is called the repunched mint mark, often written as D over D, or D/D. Back in the 1960s, mint marks were added to coin dies by hand using a small punch. Sometimes the worker would accidentally hit the punch twice in slightly different positions, leaving a second faint D behind or above the first one. Under a magnifier, it looks like a shadow or doubling of the D mint mark. These repunched mint mark coins are rare and very collectible. A 1964 D nickel with a clear D over D mint mark in top mint state condition has sold for nearly $20,000 at auction. Another special version is the 1964 SMS nickel. SMS stands for Special Mint Set. These coins are mysterious because the mint didn't officially release any SMS sets in 1964. However, A few examples were later discovered in the estate of a former mint director. Unlike normal coins, these have a satin-like finish and incredibly sharp detail. They look smoother and cleaner than typical circulation coins. Experts believe only about 20 to 25 examples of the 1964 SMS nickel exist in the entire world. Because they are so rare, collectors will pay tens of thousands of dollars for them. One graded SP68 with full steps sold for over $30,000. If you ever see a 1964 nickel that looks unusually smooth or has a silky texture to the surface, you should definitely have it checked. You might be holding one of those ultra-rare SMS coins. There are also examples of the 1964 nickel being struck on the wrong type of blank, or planchet. Each coin denomination uses a specific metal blank, but sometimes mistakes happen and a blank meant for another coin gets used. For example, a 1964 nickel might have been struck on a 1-cent blank, or even on a foreign coin blank. These coins will usually look different in color, thickness, or weight. If you find one that seems too light, too thin, or has a copper tone instead of the usual nickel-silver color, it might be one of those rare planchet errors. Such coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. Some 1964D nickels also show what's called a double die error. This happens when the design on the die, the metal stamp used to make coins, is struck twice slightly out of alignment. That causes the details on the coin to appear doubled, especially on the letters or numbers. You might notice it in the word liberty, or in the motto, "In God We Trust." These kinds of errors can be worth a few hundred to several $1,000s depending on how strong the doubling is. So how can you tell if your 1964D nickel is special? The best thing to do is inspect it carefully. Start by checking the date and mint mark. The D will be right under the date. Then look at the Monticello steps on the back. If they're sharp and fully visible, that's a great sign. Use a magnifying glass to look at the D mint mark closely. If it looks like there's a faint extra D behind it, you may have a repunched mint mark variety. Check the letters and numbers for doubling, and pay attention to the overall surface of the coin. If it looks unusually smooth and high quality, it could be one of those special mint strikes. If you think you might have a rare one, it's worth sending it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate it, grade it, and confirm if it's one of the valuable varieties. A coin that's been officially graded and placed in a holder is much easier to sell and usually brings a higher price. Even if it turns out to be a common one, the learning experience is worth it. Now, you might be wondering why collectors are willing to pay so much for something that was once so common. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. Even though nearly 2 billion 1964D nickels were made, only a tiny fraction are in perfect mint condition, and only a handful have special varieties like the D over D, or the SMS finish. When supply is that limited and demand is high among collectors, prices naturally rise. Think of it like an old baseball card or comic book. Most are cheap, but a rare printing error or perfect condition copy can be worth a fortune. The same idea applies to coins. It's also important to remember that 1964 was a significant year for U.S. coins. It was the last year that mint marks appeared before a short pause. The mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins after 1964 to discourage people from hoarding certain issues. It was also the last year before silver was removed from dimes and quarters, so people were already saving coins from that period. All of these events make the 1964 coins special in American history. So if you have a jar of nickels sitting around, it's worth taking a few minutes to check them. You might find a regular one worth 5 cents, or you might get lucky and discover something truly special. Even if it's not worth a fortune, collecting and studying these coins can be a fun and educational hobby. Every coin tells a story: where it was made, how it was used, and what was happening in the country at that time. The 1964 D Jefferson nickel may look small and ordinary, but it carries a big piece of history. To sum it all up, the 1964 D Jefferson nickel is one of the most produced coins in U.S. history, yet certain versions are among the most valuable nickels ever made. Most are worth only face value, but a few rare varieties, like the D over D repunched mint mark, the full steps examples, and especially the mysterious SMS nickels, can bring anywhere from hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars. The difference is all in the details, so take your time, look closely, and you might just uncover a hidden treasure in your pocket change. So next time you see a 1964 D nickel, don't dismiss it. Flip it over, look for those steps, check the mint mark, and study the surface. It could be an ordinary coin, or it could be a small piece of American history worth a life-changing amount of money. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating little coin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Until then, keep checking your change and happy collecting.